just want to welcome everyone to the latest edition of Senior Showcase, and excited that we've got another outstanding representative of the class of 2020, Michael Eschweiler. How you doing, Michael?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Great, great. Thank you. I can see you got the Bears helmet behind you, so it's all good. I guess we'll have something to talk about with the Bears helmet. So get your view if it's going to be Foles or Trubisky, but we'll save that for later. So if you wouldn't mind, just kind of take a look at your last 4 years and share with us what you've been involved in as you've been at Prairie Ridge.
For all 4 years, I've been involved with track and field. That's been my main sport. I played 2 years of football. I've been in German club for 4 years and German National Honor Society for 2 years.
Oh, terrific. So let's touch on track and field for a while. Now, you're primarily a hurdler, right? Or were you doing more?
It was primarily hurdles, 110 and 300.
Cool. So tell me, that sport always amazes me. How did you get into that? Was it, hey, we need a hurdler, why don't you throw in there, or is that something that you did when you were in junior high?
I started in 5th grade when I kind of saw people on the track in junior high doing hurdles. I was, hey, that looked cool. And then I kind of just started from there. I've always been doing it for as long as I've been doing track. It's been my main event. And then, it just kept on getting more and more frequent in track for me.
All right, the question that I always had this question is, so how many serious wipeouts have you had?
It'd have to be, I think it's 2 on all of high school. It's been serious wipeouts.
And did you get hurt in those, or what happened?
Yeah, I got a scar on my elbow from one of them because it was a huge, track burn. And then the other one, it wasn't that bad. I kind of just landed on my back. But, yeah, one of them was bad.
And I imagine it's one of those things that after you do it that one time, you better get up and jump again, or you're going to be a little bit paranoid the next time out.
Yeah, I thankfully finished the races on both of those. It'd be kind of awkward if you just sat there after falling and just looked around. But yeah, the goal is to finish it.
Oh, well, awesome. So when you look back on your track career, is there a race that's more memorable that you look back on and go, man, that was cool. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was, I'm pretty sure, conference last year. I was able to, because all the other years I got placed 6th and then 7th. It was last year for my 300 hurdles, I was able to place 2nd in conference. And so I thought that was a big deal. The only person above me was a senior.
That's awesome. Now, tell me about kind of where were you in the season? Did you run indoor already when kind of everything happened with the quarantine this year?
It was after our second meet indoor season. That's when all the rumors of school getting canceled started arising, and then it was right before our third meet. Actually, the day before is when they announced that we wouldn't be having any extracurricular activities anymore, and that's when I was like, "Crap! Well, there goes my season."
Now, when that first happened, did you think that's it, or was there this hope that, all right, this is going to be just a week or two and blow over?
I was just kind of talking with my coaches. We were all hoping that would be another just a week or two of just let it die down. But then after that, we kind of realized that the chances of me getting into another meet would be more slim.
So tell me about, obviously not easy. Tell me about kind of how you've processed that, the roller coaster of emotions that you've gone through.
I mean, at first it was kind of a disappointment because I've been putting in a lot of work over the past 4 years to get to the point where I am now, and not being able to see it pay off is kind of kick in the gut. And then after that, it's just kind of realizing, hey, sometimes stuff happens. You just have to deal with it the best you can. And I've enjoyed the time I've spent with my teammates in track and field up to now, so I can at least be thankful for that.
Well, tell me, How have you been? Are you still connecting with your teammates? Are you guys doing stuff, Zoom stuff, connect, Snapchat? How's that gone with you as a group?
Yeah, our track coach and our whole team has like this huge Google Classroom that we do Kahoot on and all that stuff. And I always text my track teammates, see what they're doing, see if we want to go hang out sometime. And then, yeah, we always try and keep in touch after this.
Now, if you look back on kind of the best memories, because for people that don't realize, ton of downtime at a track meet, right?
Yeah.
So lot of either stretching or hanging out or trying to stay warm or just messing around with your friends. What are some great memories, some that you look back on fondly regarding that?
It was sophomore year. It was our conference meet as well. We were in a tent. It was a really crappy day. All the conference meets are really crappy weather. It was raining. It was cold, and we're all in our huge tent. And one of the seniors, I think it was Gilbert, brought a speaker. And so we would like, this was before the meet started. We're all just sitting in the tent with like blankets around us, blasting some sort of music. All the other tents can hear us. But yeah, that was fun.
So if you look back on every team's got a clown, right? Someone that likes having a little bit of fun. So if you look on your current group of guys, who would fit that mold? Is it you? Is it someone else?
To be honest, I'd have to say it's me because I'm always doing like whenever everyone's just bored, I'm always trying to do something, not just sit around, look at my phone. I'd rather not do that at a meet or at like practice. I'm always trying to get people engaged. But yeah, I'd have to say it's me.
So tell me about that. What do you like doing? What pranks you like playing? What jokes you like telling? What impressions you like doing?
Well, most of the time it's just saying like if people are really not into it, like, hey, you want to go run like 4 laps on the track, and they'll just look at me like, what are you thinking? I'm just like, I don't know. I seem bored, so might as well do something. And then, yeah, most of the time, people are just sitting around. I'm just like, hey, just go do something. Let's go. Come on. And yeah.
So is it more an annoyance or do you get a laugh out of them?
I mean, some of the people around the tent laugh as well, just because they know they're not. Everyone knows that like this one person's not in the mood to do something. And I come up to them and I bug them about it, and then like they just start laughing.
So tell me about your interaction with your coaches. Who was specifically your kind of coach to help with hurdles on the team?
It would be Coach Prochnow or Dan Prochnow. He doesn't go to this school or he doesn't teach at this school, but honestly, since day one, he's coached my brothers as well when they ran track, and so I've kind of known him for a long time now. Ever since day one, when I saw interest in hurdles, he's always been helping me, teaching me new tricks and tips, and I've kind of always looked up to him whenever I needed help on something in track.
Now, is Coach Prochnow, is he at another school? Is he in another career? I mean, how is it that he's associated with the team?
I'm not too sure of that myself. I never really decided to ask him. Uh,
He's, someone just kind of found him on the side of the road one day and said, "Hey, you want to coach hurdles?"
he actually, that was it. He ran track in college, and so he happened to know our head coach, Coach Shutt, and so they kind of collaborated, and he was able to coach.
Now tell us about that. Are your coaches laid back? They like having a little bit of fun? Are there little things that you do to get underneath their skin? I mean, tell us about that interaction.
Well, most of the times they're laid back. Like if it's a week with no meets, we'll be like on Friday, we'll still have a good workout, but after we'll do like 100-meter sprints with sharks and minnows. So we'll still be gassed at the end, but it'll still be fun to take off mind of just running for 100 meters straight,
Man,
mindlessly.
that like goes back to your junior Wolves days with the shark and minnows running around.
Yeah, but it's like if you're not running full speed for 100 meters, we're not going to do it. So we're still like exhausted after doing it 10 times.
So tell me about what's next for you. What's up next year? Where are you going? What are you doing?
I plan on going to Iowa State University to study material engineering. And hopefully, if I continue training during the school year and off season, I can hopefully walk on at the track team there.
Well, yeah, tell me about that. I was going to ask you, well, outside of Iowa State, first of all, what other schools were you looking at from an academic side?
Colorado School of Mines, they had offered me a scholarship there for track. They have an amazing engineering program. The whole school is pretty much focused around engineering. It would be Butler was another one of the things I considered. Uh, University of Massachusetts, they had offered me, and they also have engineering there. And then other than that, that'd be the main schools I was looking at.
So, what ultimately made you settle on being a Cyclone? How'd that work out?
Well, both my brother and my dad have gone there before. They had 4 years there. They said they really liked the school. I've seen the campus a lot. I like it a lot. It's not too far away from home. It's like a 6 to 8 hour drive, so it's manageable.
Is that kind of what dissuaded you to consider Colorado School of Mines? Was it the travel, or did you visit that campus at all?
I was not able to visit. I think it was just more of a distance thing. I mean, from what I've seen, this campus looks great, but I never really had it. It was very poor timing with communication between me and the coach and the people there because I can't really visit them now because of the whole coronavirus. And yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see the school myself in person. That maybe would have changed my decision, but with the whole timing, it wasn't very good for me.
Got it. Well, no looking back, and obviously you got a familiarity, and it sounds like you're excited. So, have you reached out to the coach at Iowa State yet about the possibility of walking on?
I have, and he said there are certain guidelines for what times you need to meet and for walk-ons of what they expect. And so my goal is to be able to train for a year or so, lift, run, and hopefully be able to walk on there since they have some of the best track team or track people in the nation.
Now, is that something that when you look at the numbers, are you close? Are you getting there? I mean, what's kind of your motivation to reach that?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I never really knew because I was never able to put in actual outdoor time for this year. So I don't know how close I would be. Since my last times officially were from junior year, I'd say personally I'm like pretty close. If I just put in a little more work, I'd be able to reach that time and be able to join the track team.
So, what are you doing? What are you doing to put in the work? I mean, take us through kind of what your workout would be for a hurdler.
Right now it's hill running, just basically conditioning, running a couple miles, and then doing short sprints, lifting weights, whatever is possible to me. And then I have a hurdle at my house that I usually just practice the basic drills, going over, stretching, all that stuff.
Now, are you able to work out with someone else, or is it primarily you on your own, kind of running the hills and doing the lifting and such?
Some of the times I usually just talk to my teammates, say, hey, you want to go to Veterans Acres and run hills or something with me? Because if they are like hoping to pursue track in college, it's a win-win for both of us. We can both train together, have fun.
Now, are there any fellow track members from PR that are also looking to pursue that at the next level?
Uh, Not that I know, because we only had so many seniors in uh, our track team. I think it was me, Jared Zuniga, Ryan Fisk, Drew Fryer, and then that's really all I can think of. If one person would be, I think it would be Jared Zuniga, since we usually ran a lot together, and he was one of the best distance kids on our senior team. So I would think him, but I'm not too sure about it.
Okay. Now, you've been involved with a name like Eschweiler. You better be in German National Honor Society, right? So tell me about that. So that's you've had Mr. Higgins then your entire time?
Yeah, I've had Mr. Higgins. My brother's had him for 2 years, so he's known me before that as well. I mean, I've helped him with a lot of extracurricular stuff. I've helped him set up stuff. We've known each other for a long time. He's like a friend to me, pretty much.
So is Mr. Higgins someone that really, the next question is going to be, tell me about faculty members that have had an impact, and it sounds like he's already been one of them.
Yeah, he's like if I ever needed help, I'd always ask him for something. He's been there. I've talked to him a lot, and yeah, he's had a really big impact on me with like German, pursuing German, going for the National Honor Society, and then just wanting to get better in school. He's helped me a lot with that.
Now, how big? Because I know German is a little smaller group than kind of Spanish and such. How big a group is it that kind of took German? Because I imagine that there's a few people that you've had in class all 4 years, probably sick of seeing them.
Yeah, it's usually in freshman year it starts out a lot and then it narrows down so you get to know the people you're with. It's like some of the people I've known for a long time, like Brett Nygren, Robert McKay, Aiden Dunnican. I've always talked to them in German. We've always, if we were in the same class, we'd always be a group together. And then I've known for 4 years. German's helped me get to know them better.
Now, I know you brought up Brett Nygren, and when I interviewed Brett wasn't so good at being able to say something in German to me. Or he didn't feel confident. It was something about he takes a bus to school. So can you do a little better than Brett did in sharing something German with me right now?
I can try. Hallo, ich heiße Michael Eschweiler. Ich komme aus Prairie, Illinois. Mein Lieblingssport ist Track and Field und Fußball Amerikanisch. That's
Nice. So you said who you were, where you live, and that you were into track and field and football.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So are you still going to look to pursue that when you go to Iowa State and still continue with the German, or it sounds you feel like you're like if you went to Germany, you'd be able to get by and manage a conversation well?
Honestly, I think I would, since one of the things my parents are like pushing me to do is travel abroad for like one semester or something like that. Since freshman year is the easiest, they would either want me to do like go to Germany, go to their campus on site there, have me study for half a semester there with all like the general ed stuff, get to know the culture there, get to see the surroundings, and then yeah, they would be pushing me to do that. And honestly, I'm considering it because it's one of the lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. Have you already looked into it? Is that already something? Because I imagine you already probably have to get signed up for that in the spring, right?
Yeah, you'd have to sign up for it in the spring. And honestly, it's either between Germany or Ireland I've been pretty considering because they both have like they've always been one of the places I've always wanted to visit, and you might as well get it done.
So is the Irish on mom's side?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
So, well, no, I didn't know if your mom's Irish for sure or not. I assume so, but so since I brought up your mom and you talked about your dad, why don't you introduce us to your entire family? Give us their names and what they are, what they're doing, and
Well, first of all, my oldest brother, he's going to NIU. He's majoring in robotics, and he's currently having what's it called? He's currently doing an internship at a company, hoping to get a job there. He really likes the job. My brother Drew Eschweiler, he went to Iowa State for 4 years. He majored in computer engineering, and he has a job in Iowa now, which we helped him move into, and he's starting it next week. My dad graduated from Iowa State in 4 years. He most of the time he works at home, and then my mom graduated from Michigan State, and she's also working at home.
so we got a little Big Ten, Big 12 rivalry going. Have
Yeah,
they?
whenever the games are on, usually for basketball and football, they argue.
I'm trying to picture. Have they played? They've probably played each other in hoops. Have they played each other in football recently?
Not in a while, no. I think it's like this year or next year they might play each other depending on the circumstances, but basketball is mainly the time when they face each other.
Yeah, that could create some challenges. And Hey, you had mentioned all these guys that were in German club. Were there a number of ladies? I mean, not German club, but in your class in German. Were there also a number of ladies in the class as well, or is it more predominantly guys in taking German?
Uh, there it was more. I'd say, guys, it was like maybe 60 to 40% ratio. There was still a good amount of girls wanting to learn German. I know there was Erin Mann. She's actually studying, or she's going to a German college next year. She's going to Germany to study abroad there for 4 years. So a lot of them are pursuing German as well in college.
Awesome. Now, if you look back at your time at PR, and you brought up Mr. Higgins and his impact, what other faculty or coaches or people along the way just had a huge impact on you that you're always going to remember and appreciate?
One of them would be John Mason. He coached both my brother and me when I was playing football. He had a very close relationship with me. He was always kind, and yeah, he taught me like be kind to others because you never know when you're going to see him again, and always be the best you can be.
And when you look back at Coach Mason and the time on the football field with him, any funny memories? Because Coach Mason always was good for a few of those that you could recall.
Yeah, we were doing it was a drill where you would have to catch the ball when you're right next to him, and he would always start throwing it as hard as possible. Paul Anderson was the one up, and then he decided since Paul was making his job difficult that day, he decided as hard as possible his face, and he pegged him in the helmet, and he fell down. And that was one of the most memorable moments I had there.
And did Paul appreciate that moment?
He was confused after getting hit, like he didn't know what happened. Everyone else was just laughing as hard as possible. Other people were watching as Paul was getting up. Yeah.
I could picture that. Um, Now, so you mentioned some memories. Are there any other fond memories when you kind of reflect back on your 2 years of football that you go, "Hey, I really enjoyed that time with the guys," or something that happened in a game that you always remember?
Uh, it was the carry game in the playoffs when we scored on the last second, making and then seeing us to the semifinals. That was memorable because everyone didn't know really what happened. We're all just jumping around saying we made it pretty much. And then, yeah, that was one of them. And then another one was the state when we won. We were just happy to see all of our efforts paid off, and we were able to go that far.
Cool. When you've got the quarantine going on, and any Eschweiler family traditions now that have stemmed out of the quarantine?
Playing Monopoly, playing like a game of Monopoly for like 3 to 4 hours, since that usually lasts a long time.
Now
Uh,
you're pretty brave because other people say that's one game they can't play with their family because things get pretty heated. So is that similar at your home?
yeah. Usually people try and put like their uh die or like flip die, and we usually catch them, and then they say we didn't do it, and then we always start arguing a lot, and yeah, it gets pretty heated during some of the times.
All right. So in the Eschweiler family, who's the most intense and anal Monopoly player?
It'd have to be my older brother Drew, since he's always the one that wants to play it. He's always the one that wants to win it. He's always like, uh, "You play by my rules right now," and then it's always some rules we make up, and then we always throw away some rules, and then he's always the one that wants to come out on top.
So has anyone ever flipped the board?
We've gotten close to it. Not yet though, because it was me and my brother. We had a 4 hour long Monopoly game going. It was just me and him, and then I was so close to flipping the board because out of a total of 11 spaces, 10 of them were my properties, and he landed on the one that wasn't, and I just wanted to end the game at that point, and so I almost flipped the board over and just walked away. That close.
So Monopoly's big. Have you gotten into any binge watching?
I have. It's mainly been The Last Dance. I'm planning on rewatching the whole thing today again since that just finished. Narcos. It's been a very. I've watched that 4 or 5 times now on Netflix over the past couple weeks.
Sure, sure. How about what's kind of been the go-to for takeout for you guys?
It's been mainly Mexican food and Chinese food. That's been our main consistency. We have a really nice Mexican place right near us that is pretty cheap, good food. We usually order there once every week.
Yeah, it's anything other than Mexican?
Uh, Chinese food we usually order from like Chen's or something like that. And other than that, it's just like we'll go out to McDonald's or something like that if we're feeling bored.
Okay. Um, you are now 28. Where are you? Where you living? What's the ideal career? If you could just snap your fingers and be king and make everything happen how you want, what would it look like?
Uh, Dream Place, Oregon, Beaverton, have an apartment there, work at Nike headquarters for designing and making shoes. That'd be my dream job right there.
Awesome. Now, is that something that now you are going into material engineering? So I guess you're going to look to try to create the next super. I forgot the old Disney movie where they created that real bouncy substance that everyone would flubber or blubber or something. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
remember that one. Uh, so is that the kind of stuff you're talking about? Where literally you'd be kind of analyzing how do you make a better shoe, lighter, stronger, that kind of stuff?
yeah. There since I don't know if you've heard about like the controversy with the new Olympic shoes coming out with Nike made. It's like 4%. Every distance runner who's worn that shoe has gotten a 4% better time than the previous one. And it's like they assumed it was like you're getting more energy back within the shoe than you're supposed to be, and it's like
But,
new material.
but why would that be a problem? When you say controversy, it's like, well, the equipment's legal, right? I mean, is there anything illegal about the shoe?
No, it's all stuff they've used before. Really, it's just put into different places. There is a new like knitting material that's like almost air. It's very light but yet very strong, and so it's like that's been the controversy. It's providing better times and better experiences than other brands, which is why it's like they want it banned or limited in the
Okay,
Olympics.
okay. Now with you mentioned, so are you a big Oregon Ducks fan too because of that?
Well, yeah, I kind of am. My one side of my family lives out there, and I've always gone out there and just liked the place, Oregon. I've always liked Nike, and so that'd be my kind of ideal place to live.
Did you actually consider looking at them for engineering?
Uh, Oregon State has an amazing engineering program for material engineering, and I've considered it, but out of state there and just cost in general can be proving challenging sometimes, which is why
Sure.
I kind of crossed it off.
Yeah, and I don't know if you wanted a beaver on your helmet or you know
Yeah.
that look either. So um, when you look at the kind of mundane, boring parts of school, what do you just miss that you thought I never thought I'd miss that?
Honestly, it'd be like we're in Commons or in the library, just hanging around, being on our phone, Chromebook, watching videos, doing some stupid stuff, and then it was just saying random stuff. And I kind of miss those moments when everyone was there. We're all just hanging around.
Is there kind of who was the group of friends that would typically hang out in commons with and screw around with?
It would usually be like some of the baseball shit, like Holden. I'd be in his Commons one of the times. And then some of the soccer players I'd always hang around with, since most of them I knew from PG. And so we'd always, or Prairie Grove, and we'd always just hang around there. That's would be my always go-to group.
Which guys are those?
Nick Fallot, Ethan Covers, Michael Thompson, Jackson Rinhouse. Those are all the people I knew from Prairie Grove, and they're mainly all on the soccer team. And so I've known them for a long time.
Okay. What have you done to kind of connect with your friends now that you've been out of school?
Well, we have like group chats. We always just send each other stuff in those group chats, something to make us laugh or something like that. That's really the only communication. Other than that, I've been like busy doing work, and so I've just tried to communicate with them as best possible.
Well, tell me about what have you learned about yourself during this quarantine? Anything particular?
I learned I have bad sleep habits. It's gotten to the point where I'm staying up to like 4 a.m., waking up at 1 p.m. It's getting worse as time goes on.
I was going to ask you, you seemed a little groggy when we started this call. Was there any truth to that?
Yeah, well, we had to wake up for our senior turn-in day with all of our books, and that's the earliest I've woken up in a while. It's 9, so I was running low on sleep.
So you had to run your stuff over to school this morning?
Yeah, and it was kind of like a wake-up call to me. I was just like, oh, hey, I'm up this early. It's new.
Now, did you partake in the graduation drive-by parade on Friday?
I did.
So tell me about that. What'd you guys do? Who you with?
Well, it was just me and my mom. I was on top of our Jeep that we have. It was nice to see all the teachers I had for this year, all the teachers I had my previous years once again, be able to say goodbye to them one last time, CPR one last time in the outer place of it. And yeah, it was memorable being able to just see everyone one last time.
Did you you had mentioned Coach Mason and your coaches from track. Anyone on and Mr. Higgins, anyone else on the academic side, faculty side that you really just loved being in that person's class or had a big impact on you?
Uh, Mr. Peterson, when I was in his history class, he always made that class fun, bringing up something funny to do, fun activities, making summatives fun. And then that class was never really boring for me. It was always, even when we had assignments, he would make them interesting to do. And then, yeah, that was.
And then would he bring out the bad dad jokes during history class too?
Oh yeah, he whenever he brought those out, they were so bad at some points that they were extremely funny. And our whole class just started adding on to them, and yeah, it was fun.
Now, people have said that you've been known to lighten things up and be kind of a jokester or a character. What part of your personality comes out when you do that?
Honestly, it's just me trying to be the most optimistic I can be. Just like if something's not going well, I'll be like, hey, there's always this that can happen. I mean, this is the worst we can go, and just saying they could like you can always do things better. Don't look down right now because yeah.
No, that's an awesome trait. That is very cool. Um, so I guess with that being said, you hear the phrase "once a wolf, always a wolf."
Mm.
What does that mean to you?
It means like once you've put in all of your effort, the 4 years you've gone through, all the memories you've had here, it's like those will never leave you. They'll always be a part of you. Like whether you've been a super fan, you're in a sports club, or you're just in a club in general, you'll never forget those memories and they'll always be there in VR.
Great, well said. What are some of those memories when you look back? Let's just keep it to your senior year. What have been some of the cool memories that you'll look back on and go, that was awesome?
I think it was one of the playoffs games for super fanning. It was the costume game for like Halloween, and or not Halloween. I was dressed up as a inflatable cop, and then one of my other friends I previously mentioned Nick was he was dressed up as a prisoner. He was able to take the flag. We were able to run across the back and forth the track. That was one of my best memories because it was just funny. Everyone watching us doing a little skit. That was one of my
And you
best.
you said you had the you were an inflatable. Were you able to run still?
It was hard to run because all of it was like you had to widen your legs when running down the what's it called track, and it was like I had to skip almost like in order to move forward. It was so hard to move your legs back and forth.
So that's a hidden talent, but what would be another quirky thing or hidden talent that maybe only your family knows that you could do? Something goofy, the old tongue to the nose, I don't know.
Uh, huh. Not too sure. I'm really not.
We've actually stumped you. You're not the kind of person I expected that we'd ever have stumped. You'd always have a quick answer on something. But so I don't know. Are you a hopeless romantic? Long walks on the beach and romance novels and movies, or you've seen every single Robin Williams comedy, or something like
there
that.
is one thing I've spent a 50-hour marathon, no sleep on Netflix, just binge watching shows and just sat in one place for pretty much 50 hours, vegging out, doing absolutely nothing. To say
There's
it properly.
no way. When did this happen?
It was sophomore year after it was like midsummer, and both my parents, everyone was out of the house, no one was home, they were all out of state, and I was just left there. And so I decided, hey, might as well spend 50 hours doing absolutely nothing, watching every movie on Netflix, and yeah, I don't regret it.
50 hours. So how much sleep did you get during that time?
Well, I think it was 50 hours without any sleep, and then the next 2 days was just spent sleeping and in my bed.
How the heck did you, I mean, how many caffeinated drinks did you have?
I bought Red Bull during that week, so I had like 4 cans of Red Bull next to me. I had a bunch of food next to me, and it didn't help when I had to go to track practice like 3 days afterwards. That wasn't a fun practice, and I did it though. It happened.
You should have videotaped that experience and, been able to like drop a little a vlog every hour just to watch your personality and demeanor change.
Yeah, around the end, I really was just I was watching movies just to watch them. I didn't really care for them. I didn't pay attention to them. They were just on. I was just mindlessly watching them just to say I watched them.
Can
It
you
wasn't.
even can you remember any of them?
Uh, uh, it was not really no. 'Cause
Well,
there were,
well, there's a great social experiment, and you go 50 hours without sleep, you're probably not going to recall a darn thing afterward.
yeah, after the 50 hours, I went straight to bed. And I think I slept for another 12 hours after that.
Did you have a pet at home?
I did. He was next to me. I have a dog, and so he was just next to me the whole time.
No, do you still have that dog?
I do, yeah. Thankfully,
What what's his name?
Blaze. He's a like a golden retriever slash foxhound mix.
Oh, cool. So what's Blaze gonna do? I'm sure Blaze has kind of got used to having you around. So how's Blaze gonna respond when you head off to Iowa State?
Well, it's gonna be different. It's only gonna be him and my parents around, but I'm imagining he's gonna be sad without me since I spent a lot of time with him.
Now, did you say was it Drew that moved to Iowa?
Yeah,
So now both your brothers are already out of the house?
yeah.
So, needless to say, this is going to be a little bit of a rough transition for a certain Irish lady in your house.
Yes. Well, I mean, she's already been through moving two people out of the house before.
Yeah, but
So
you're her baby, Michael. You're her baby. Come on now.
yeah, this actually is not a thing. It's going to be rough seeing her last kid's going to be moving out of college. It's just going to be her and my dad at home with no one else really. So I'm imagining it's going to be rough with no
Hey,
more
but
people.
I don't want to burst your bubble because maybe mom and dad are like licking their chops, going, "Yes, finally, party time."
Yeah, I don't know. They may do that. They may be sad, but
Well, we'll see. You'll have to watch your mom if she's watching this video here in the future and see how that goes. So,
yeah.
hey, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you doing this, especially on lack of sleep. And at least it wasn't after a 50-hour binge watch. But you're a great example of the class of 2020, and there's no doubt you're going to go a long way. I could just sense it, with your engineering degree and all you're going to accomplish. So, best of luck to you, and hopefully we'll see you running in a Big 12 track meet as well.
Hopefully I do too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got that Bears helmet there, and I had teased, is it going to be Foles or is it going to be Mitchell? And so this is your opportunity to play NFL analyst. And what do you think is going to shake out?
Honestly, I feel like what the Bears are going to do is they're going to start Trubisky, and if he just starts showing that he's not proven himself after what he's done, I think they're just going to say, "You can't do this anymore. Put Foles in." And since they declined the fifth-year option for Trubisky, I feel like this might be the end of line for Bears Trubisky, since last year wasn't the best, and Foles might be the person that we can actually rely on to be a average QB for us.
Now, do you have a preference?
Uh, Honestly, I kind of want to see Trubisky do well, but if he doesn't do well, I'll be like, all right, your time's up. You can't. You've proven yourself that you can't do it.
I don't know this, but I have a feeling that you'd probably be a pretty big debater when it comes to topics of sports.
Yeah, I kind of am.
So what sports team are you most emotional about and most opinionated about?
It would have to be, I'd say, the Bears mostly, just because they've gone through a lot of controversy, and I've watched them pretty much my whole life. I'd say that's like it's like the best team ever. 85 Bears. I'd say that's the best team ever for me. But people might say the Dolphins, and so that's me.
Sure. God, now will you get into Stephen A. Smith like discussions with your buddies in the Commons?
Yeah, we'll start off like with a really stupid question, and then we'll start getting more and more in depth to that question. It'll start being like, should we start this person, who's better? And then it'll eventually lead to us like raising our voices in comments. Everyone's staring at us. We're arguing. It's like, yeah.
So who's the one that you really get under their skin when you kind of needle them when it comes to their thoughts on sports? There's got to be that one guy in Commons that you just like getting under their skin when they start talking smack.
I'd have to say it's like Jackson Rittenhouse. He's a very big Brewers fan, and when I start talking about Cubs, or like they're better than the Brewers, and he just starts like he snaps and it's like starts bringing up all these facts. Like, no, you're wrong. And it's like, all right, whatever. Sure, I am.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, I appreciate the time and
Mhm.
such. So